We've got the Tahoe hooked to an empty trailer, which can only mean one thing: we're going to pick up another car. Now, if you're watching this thinking, doesn't this guy have enough projects already? I mean, the yellow Z always needs something. We have the Crash Z that still needs a ton of work, and I want to get drifting. Then we have the abandoned 240 that I haven't even started working on. And there's another car you guys haven't even seen. So, do I need another project? No, absolutely not. But I'm a car guy, and when a good deal pops up, I gotta get it. Here we are in the back alley somewhere in downtown LA, checking this thing out. All right, on the trailer. I don't know if you can hear them. They're playing mariachi music. Y'all ready for some gas station B-roll? All right, we made it home. It's like 10:30 at night. I've been up since 3:30 in the morning because it was a full work day before we went and picked this thing up, but home safe. I'm gonna get some sleep and we will pick this back up tomorrow where we actually dive into this thing. And I gotta tell you the actual story on this and like why it was such a good deal, and let's talk about it tomorrow. Good morning, it's the next day, and it's time to see, did I make a mistake? Or is this thing a diamond in the rough? Okay, it's definitely not a diamond or a gem, or it's kind of a piece of junk, but it's gonna clean up nice. So before we get this thing unloaded, I'm gonna pull the truck and trailer a bit down. We're gonna pressure wash this thing because it is filthy. It's been sitting for about 2 years and it's collected a lot of dust. So let's get it cleaned up and off the trailer. So while we watch the clear coat get completely blasted off this car, I figured I'd tell you the backstory on this thing. So I found it on Facebook Marketplace, pretty typical story. But the car had no keys and had been sitting for at least 2 years. Now I did a little bit of digging and the guy had the Carfax on the thing, and it was a salvage title. It was crashed in 2022. It was then sold at auction, and then it was abandoned at a shop. Now I'm guessing it was a paint shop because this car was recently painted at some point, and I don't think it was driven after that because there's still masking tape in certain spots, and as you can see the paint job is terrible. That's why the clear coat's getting blasted off with a pressure washer. So the owner just abandoned it at the shop with no keys, with no anything. The shop ended up doing a lien sale to the guy that I bought it from. And now it's here in my driveway. So it was a great deal because it had no keys, a kind of sketchy history, and no one really knew if it ran. Sometimes you got to take risks, and we'll see if this one pays off. Man, I have never seen clear coat failure that catastrophic. It's literally just coming off everything. I mean, the hood no longer has clear coat on it at all. I spent 5 minutes pressure washing it and it all came off. Now, as I was saying in the voiceover, this car was left at a shop, and I'm pretty sure it was a body shop, and I just think they did a terrible job. I mean, maybe that's why the guy didn't want to pay for it and just abandon the car, or who knows. But this is why whenever I do a video on paint or body work or prep work or anything like that, I always harp on the prep work. It is so important. You can have the nicest paint job, the best quality products, and if your prep is not good enough, that's what happens. Now, it's not really a big deal to me. I didn't buy this car because it had mint paint, but it is pretty funny, and it does go to show just how important prep work is. So I'm gonna finish pressure washing this thing. I just had to take a minute and laugh because like I said, I've never seen anything that bad. But we're about to get this off the trailer, and I've got an appointment with a locksmith in a few hours, so I want to get it cleaned up so that way it's ready when he gets here so we can get that key programmed and finally figure out if this thing starts. This makes me laugh too. More of a sign that this was done at a not so great shop. All right, enough of the pressure washing. I'm gonna back the trailer about halfway in the garage and see if I can get this thing unloaded. I'm doing it by myself, but at the end of the day, Miata doesn't weigh anything, so hopefully I should just be able to push it off the trailer and not crash it into the cabinets back there. All right, I've got a mic on, so hopefully you guys can hear me, but we have the Tahoe perched up on a little 2x6. Sadly, that's all I had. big piece of wood under the trailer, jack the trailer up as high as it can go, and we kind of have the trailer sitting level-ish. Got the ramps out. It's just time to untie this thing, and then I'm going to do my best to push it off the trailer. We'll see how it goes. Good thing the trailer's soaking wet, so there's a lot of grip. I'm being sarcastic. This is really hard. Hopefully I'm not just videotaping myself falling off the trailer, breaking a leg. It would be great if the steering wheel wasn't locked, but you know, it is what it is. All right, I'm gonna have to reposition that ramp. Oh boy. We're in. No casualties. All right, car's in the garage. Now, this is kind of my step-by-step process every time I buy a new project. If I bring it home on the trailer, I'm gonna pressure wash it on the trailer. That way I can get underneath it, get in the wheel wells, and it's just easier that way. After that, get it in the garage, and now I can actually get on the inside and see what we're really working with. This car, that is especially important because the top has a giant hole in it. The interior is kind of gross, so I want to get it cleaned out and have it be a nice place for when that locksmith gets here. Plus, if I'm being honest, it's kind of my favorite part, is just like really going through the car, trying to get an idea of what life this car lived before me. You can always get a good idea of that when you dig into the interior, especially if you go deep. Like I'm probably going to pull the seats out and, well, let's just get into it. All right, so we've got the mic on and I have the camera on a new kind of mount, so hopefully you guys like this. This is the first time trying this. But gloves are going on because who knows what's in here. We're going to have to fix this door handle here. Now, the plus side is this thing's a convertible, so let's get this top down so I have a bit more room to work in here. We've got our glass window. We can get that out of here, put that somewhere safe. Not like I'm going to reuse it, but just want it out of the way. See if I remember how to take the top down on one of these things. Fun fact, I used to own an MB1 years ago. All right, top's down. And get a good idea of what we're looking at here. I should probably bring a trash can. What the heck is this? A nasty cup with a pop socket. Weird. OG Monster. Oh, zero sugar. Nice. Health conscious. Sun visor. Looks like it came out of this car. Put that in the keep pile. Weather stripping. Not sure where this came from. Some kind of weird trim. I don't even know if that's for this car. Keep it for now. Fuse box panel. Primer. Nice. If only they had actually used this, maybe the clear coat would have stayed on. Another sun visor. Wire loom. Trash. AC line. Makes me curious if this car has AC or if it was disconnected. Random cup. Some rope. The carpet is saturated. I mean, like, really gross. That's nasty. A lot of stuff just got wet because this car was, well, it was sitting outside with no rear window. Another AC fitting. Interesting. Cup holders are empty. All we've got in the glove box is a random dry erase marker. Let's open the trunk. If you guys didn't know, that's where the trunk release is. The glove box of these things. Clean. Nice. No spare. Interesting. It looks like someone took the spot welds off and actually removed the whole thing. Got a battery tie down. This car doesn't have a battery. A bolt that's sheared off. And a rearview mirror. Factory jack. All in all, looks pretty clean back here. Oh, somebody had a system in this thing. Nice. Cool. No surprises back there. This is more evidence that this car was abandoned at a paint shop. Oh, and that this is broken. All right, well, no surprises here. This car is cleaner than I thought. Obviously, it's gross, but it's in better shape than I thought. I should probably say that. So I'm going to pull the seats out, try and get the carpet a bit cleaner. Like I said, I want to give the locksmith a good place to work when he gets here, because right now it is really gross, and I want to see what the heck is going on with this. Like, what is all of this nasty white stuff? I really don't know. Okay, not expecting this. I pulled the passenger seat out and I noticed it had a seat cover on it. Now, I'm really not a fan of seat covers, so I was like, let me take this off. Even if the seat is a little beat up underneath it, I'd rather have a worn factory seat than a loose fitting, ugly cover on it. I took the cover off and the seat is in great condition. Like, really lucky here. So there's the cover. Not terrible, but look at that. That is in great shape. Now, obviously that's the passenger side. Still got to pull the driver and see what that looks like, but before that, let me show you what was under the seat, because it's gross. Like I said, this car had no top for a while. Well, it had a top, but it had a big hole in the top and some water got in, and we got to clean this out now. Lake Miata. Here we are. Now, I don't know how long that's been sitting. Hopefully not too long. Hopefully there's no like rust forming underneath there, but I'm debating pulling the carpet or just like vacuuming that out. All right, you guys ready for this? Yeah. Nice. Thankfully, there's no rust. All right, so that's pretty nasty. The mat underneath the carpet is super nasty. It's got to go out. That thing soaks up a ton of water, and I don't want to leave it in there. I'm going to assume the driver's side's the same. This is going to be a bit more work than I anticipated, but I'm just going to pull the carpet out. I don't want to leave soaking wet carpet in this car any longer than I have to. I'd rather get it out. I can yank the mat off the bottom of it, throw it away, and then leave the carpet out in the sun to dry. And I can also pressure wash it and make it look really nice. That way when we put it in, it's clean. So I'm going to pull the interior apart. It shouldn't be too bad to get this carpet out. I mean, it's a tiny little car anyway. So let's get that out and get this thing cleaned up. Okay, I was going to show you behind the driver's seat because I thought these were funny. So obviously it was female owned, but it's a wheel lock key. I'm super excited. These wheels have locks. You can see this lug nut is not like the other ones. And when I saw this, I was like, oh man, if that key's not in here, I'm screwed. Got lucky. Driver's seat's pretty clean under that cover too. Got lucky on that. And the previous owner worked at Target, so cool. All right, this is the carpet off the parcel shelf. Sprayed it down with some Simple Green, pressure washed it, looks great. Still working on the carpet on the interior. Pretty much got it just about ready to come out. I just got to figure out how I'm going to get it out from under the dash. That was not easy. Carpet is out. Okay, that was more work than I anticipated. That carpet was really up under that dash, and yes, I could have pulled the dash, but honestly that's even more work and I don't want to do that. So let me show you why I absolutely had to get this carpet out. I was not going to leave it in there. Even if I vacuumed the heck out of it, it wasn't going to come dry. This is why. So the carpet in your car, it will dry if it gets wet. The carpet padding underneath it will not. This is just soaking wet. It's honestly really gross. And I mean, like, that's a puddle of water. So that would have not been good to leave in there for any length of time. I'm going to clean all this up, make sure it is nice and dry, as clean as it can be before we put this thing back together. This is the part where you cross your fingers. You got the locksmith out there. This guy's helped me out a bunch. Getting some keys made for this thing, and we'll see what happens.
You want to make a razor out of this one too?
All right, I realized I never showed you guys the engine bay, but this thing is pretty much stock, untouched, all original. I mean, the fenders aren't even rolled on this thing. That was a green flag for me, but let's take a look under the hood. A little dusty, definitely been sitting. Someone painted the valve cover at some point. The overspray there, definitely been resprayed. But all in all, it's really clean. I checked the oil, it's got full oil, it looks nice and clean. Pop the oil cap off, it looks clean under there, smells normal, looks normal. It's got coolant in it, I already checked that. So a lot of green flags here. Hopefully the locksmith can get this thing knocked out. We could throw a key in it and fingers crossed it'll start. All right, a few hours have gone by. The locksmith was a total bust. He basically said he thinks the car has been rekeyed at some point because he used original Mazda code to cut the key and it didn't work. Didn't work on any of the doors, any of the trunk, lock cylinder, nothing at all. So he said, call somebody else. So I called up a better locksmith, at least someone he told me he knew could do it. And they are not available until Friday. Today's Wednesday, so 2 days from now. But I really want to know if this thing runs, because it's really going to dictate what my plans are with this thing, is whether or not it runs. If we have a good running Miata here, we might as well enjoy it, right? But if it doesn't run, well, we're gonna have to look into other options. So I did some digging and I think I figured out a way to get this thing fired up without a key, and I may have just figured that out. So I'm gonna do what I think will work, and we'll find out together if it actually works. Okay, so it's not gonna actually start. It has a little key emblem on the dash telling me that it needs an actual key programmed because it has like a factory immobilizer or something like that. That's what I needed the locksmith for, but hey, it cranks. It sounds healthy, sounds like a normal motor cranking. It sounds like it's got full compression. I don't hear any weird grinding or anything. It didn't even hesitate, like the motor was kind of locked. So I think we're in good shape. I mean, at the end of the day, these little motors are really reliable. They're really stout. So I kind of figured as long as everything was normal and untouched, it should be fine, but that's definitely a win to hear this thing crank over and sound healthy. So now all we got left to do is finish cleaning this thing up, put the interior back together after that carpet dries because I pressure washed the heck out of it, and just wait for the locksmith to show up and actually program this thing so we can get it fired up. And I'm dying to take this thing for a drive. All right, here's me getting carried away. I figured the carpet was out. It's just about dry. I might as well throw it back in tonight. But before we throw it in, you know we had to give the car the quick dry ice treatment just to remove some sound deadening. I mean, it was, you know, waterlogged from sitting in there, right? So we're gonna get this out. We'll get that side knocked out. Absolutely not necessary, but like I said, the carpet's out. It's gonna take 15-20 minutes to knock this out real quick, so might as well. We got some time to kill before the locksmith shows up anyways, right? I gotta stop doing this. All right, we've got no more sound deadening. It all looks good. So no more sound deadening on the car, no more padding on the carpet, mostly because it was disgusting and soaking wet, but both of those things should take out a good chunk of weight from this thing, and we'll be able to put the carpet back in, and no one will really know that we did any kind of weight savings. I mean, I guess, yeah, it'll have a little bit more road noise, but not a big deal. I mean, it's a convertible, so it was never gonna be quiet anyways. But pretty excited. Again, that was totally unnecessary considering we don't even know if this thing runs, but I figured while the carpet was out, might as well take the time, spend the 12 bucks on dry ice and get it done, because I'm pretty confident this thing's gonna run. But that's enough talking. We're gonna pick this video back up in a few days when the locksmith is actually here, and fingers crossed, this thing works. All right, the locksmith should be here any minute. I buttoned up one last thing on the interior before we throw this carpet back in. In the last clip where I showed the sound deadening was out, you may have noticed there was some holes in the floor. Now there's little like panels that are meant to come out. I don't know if you need to like drain the car or whatever it is, but it's from the factory that way. They all came out with a sound deadening. So I cleaned them up, put a couple tack welds on them, put them back in and put some seam sealer around them. So we're not gonna have any leaks in this thing. We're not gonna end up with another lake in here. So I figured I'd show you that because if you're stripping the sound deadening on your car, it's likely that these will come out, and it's important that you don't leave them out. Otherwise, you're gonna have a big hole in the floor. This is what I'm talking about, this panel here. So that came out completely. Like I said, I just cleaned it up, put a little tack weld there, and then seam sealer around it. So now it's nice and sealed up. You can see it did the same in the 3 spots over there. While we wait for the locksmith to show up, I can start putting the carpet back in this thing, and it's gonna start looking like a car again. Got the back carpets in. It all looks really good. Like I said, everything cleaned up super nice. That was all just simple green and pressure washed to get that carpet looking good. Now we got to throw the main carpet in. All right, we're still waiting on the locksmith, but a package just showed up and I want to open it and show you guys what's inside. All right, I am super excited to announce that we have partnered with Dirty's Detail Lab. A friend of mine actually owns this company. He sent out a little care package. I don't even know what's in here. All kinds of swag. Dear Tony, welcome to the Dirty's Detail Lab family. Enjoy the products. We're excited to team up with you in all the endeavors this year. Keep killing it, Kyler. Share this code with your subscribers and followers for a discount. TC15. You guys see that? I'll put the link down below if you want any of their products. Check that out. We got you guys a discount code. Stickers in yellow. That's sick. I think he knows my colors. Super rad. Dude hooked it up. Let's go. Now this is perfect timing too because, well, you guys see the car we're working on and it really needs some love. We've got soap. We've got ceramic waterless wash. We've got glass cleaner. We've got all-purpose cleaner. Quick detailer, ceramic detailer, vinyl rubber and plastic dressing, heavy duty degreaser. I have a feeling we're going to need a lot of that, and wheel cleaner. Absolute massive shout out to Kyler. Thank you so much for jumping on board. Super excited to have you as a partner, not only on the YouTube channel, but also at Roulette events. As you guys saw, we have a discount code for you. So if you guys need any detailed products, the link will be down below. Use that code to save yourself a bit of money. Super excited to test these products out. And like I said, it came at a perfect time because this car definitely needs it. All right, the locksmith is here. He already cut me a key. Now he cut me a really basic key just to make sure that it worked on the doors and the ignition, and it does. But now he's making the chipped key so we can get that to work with the immobilizer so we can actually get this thing to start. So he's out there cutting a key now. And fingers crossed this thing will fire up in the next couple minutes. Also, take a look at the interior. It is really coming together. Got the old shift knob from the Z. Center console cleaned up so nice. Got our seat in there. Looks absolutely great. I am so stoked. This thing is looking good. Still have to do something about that dash. That's really ugly. And obviously we need a radio, but man, it's coming together. All right, the locksmith just left. We have a working Miata. Well, kind of. It cranks, doesn't start, and that's because you can't hear the fuel pumps kicking on, so I'm guessing the fuel pump's dead. But I'm gonna spray a bit of carb cleaner in there because I did that while he was here, just to confirm that the key was programmed, and it fired right up. So I think we have ourselves a healthy Miata. A little bit of starting fluid. All right, go ahead. Obviously, I've got some work to do with the fuel pump. We're going to get that switched out, and fingers crossed it'll run. Obviously, I got to order that, so it'll be a few days. But this is a big win. This thing works as far as I can tell, and I think we just hit a home run. I'm so excited. Also, let me give you a quick montage on how the interior turned out because I just put the seats back in. Now, it's not completely done. I still have to figure out something with the dash. I think there's like paint up there. I don't really know what it is, but considering what it came from, it is so much better. It doesn't smell. And it just feels like a nice, clean start to what's going to be a pretty cool project. Cue the montage. Now, I'm super bummed we didn't actually get this thing to run for real. Obviously, there's an issue with the fuel pump. Since this video, I've tried to diagnose it, and it's actually not the fuel pump itself. It's a wiring problem, so that'll be covered in the next video. Hopefully, we'll be driving this thing soon. As always, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you guys are stoked for the new build. Give this video a thumbs up, and make sure you're subscribed.